Anti-satellite space weapons could soon pose a major threat to defenseless systems in orbit, military experts warn. It's argued that these types of weapons should be considered the new reality when planning future operations, and Russia, China, and the US, along with India and Iran, will likely soon have domestically made sophisticated anti-satellite weapons of their own, according to Sputnik. While many countries are equipped with powerful space observation systems, including the U.S. Air Force's Space Surveillance Telescope, these capabilities are unable to protect the satellites once a threat is detected. In an interview with Sputnik China, military expert Vasily Koshin says future satellites should be built with advanced electronic warfare systems, as current craft are essentially defenseless against interceptor missiles. Koshin builds off recent claims by U.S. Air Force Major General Nina Armagno, who said Russia and China could soon be a risk to all U.S. satellites in orbit by 2025. Systems like the U.S.'s Space Surveillance Telescope or the Russian Space Surveillance Station Okno, which can detect satellite fighters, won't resolve the problem, he says. Such a system is capable of proving the fact that a satellite can be attacked by an enemy space vehicle, but the problem is that the system cannot protect the satellites. Koshin told Sputnik China. The expert points to China's development of a simple and cheap launch vehicle which uses ballistic missiles and plans to replace satellites destroyed during possible conflicts with new ones. Along with this, Russia is working to use ballistic missiles launched from submarines to put satellites into orbit, he says. So far, anti-satellite weapon has remained fabulously expensive, and the number of relevant launch vehicles is limited. Koshin told Sputnik China, the side which has a more powerful rocket and space industry in which will be able to put its vehicles into orbit faster than its enemy will have an advantage in a possible future armed conflict. Just last week, the U.S. Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency handed its Space Surveillance Telescope over to the U.S. Air Force Space Command in efforts to stay on top of the risks at space. We no longer have the luxury of assuming that we operate in a benign environment or that conflict will only be on land or at sea or in the air, U.S. Air Force Major General Nina Armagno said at the transfer event. Now we must concern ourselves with a conflict that may extend into space. The telescope will allow officials to obtain information on aggressive behavior and provide an in-depth understanding of space activities, according to DARPA, and it's hoped it will act as a way for the U.S. to deter potential adversaries in orbit. Others around the world have taken notice of the advantages that we and our allies gain through space technologies, and they have focused their military efforts on countering that capability. Armagno said Russia and China, by the year 2025, will be able to hold at risk every one of our satellites in any orbit. So if the United States and our allies are to deter adversaries from taking action against our interests, we must do it from a position of strength.